What's up, guys? Marcellus Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, Education on Health and Social Being. Today is February 27th. It has been a long day of handling here at the Texas Strength Classic. We're here in San Antonio at Texas Strength Systems. Clients have been killing and doing really, really well, and we're about to get into the prime time session of today, where I will be handling my client, Ashton Rouska. And it's going to be interesting because basically, ever since Ashton and I started working together, I get quite a few questions about kind of like how we go about certain things and why we do certain things a certain way. So you guys are gonna be able to like just see the actual meet, see the game day handling, everything like that. But essentially, our goal for today is for Ashton to hit a 2,100 pound total. Now, we already did this in training one block ago. That's the first thing I want to talk about, the fact that this time around, we are going with a different type of peaking style. You guys know that traditionally, the way I like to go about things is have my client hit their heaviest loads of the prep 2 weeks out, and then go with their, their usual workload for the rest of that week. Then 1 week out, they hit just heavy enough to maintain their fitness. Then we taper off, and then we compete. So usually they're hitting anywhere from like, RP 8.5 to 9, maybe up to 9.5 on bench, 2 weeks out. But another method that I like to use with certain clients, depending on how they respond to intensity, meaning like if hitting a super heavy like single takes them longer than just a couple weeks to recover from, is more of like a build type of peak. So they'll hit their heaviest loads of the prep one block out from the meet, and then going into that final block of the meet, their truly like heaviest day will be on meet day itself. And that's what we're doing with Ashton this time around. We've already tried the 2 week out method with him for his last meet, and it went extremely well. But we want to have different options to see what he's going to respond to best as far as when we go into nationals. And due to the fact that Ashton, even though he responds very well to intensity, I mean, I can have him hit an RP 8, then come in the following week hit RP 9. From the standpoint of just the objective load he puts on his body, we're thinking, okay, he's probably going to feel a lot better and healthier if we try this method. So he already hit a 2,100 pound training in total last block. We hit a 810 pound squat at RP 9.5, a 470 pound bench at RP 9.5, and then an 826 pound deadlift at RP 8.5. And that already gave us a 2,100 pound total. So now the goal is to come in today and be able to match or beat those numbers, which we should be able to do due to the fact that fatigue is going to be a little bit lower and the fact that we have tapered him going into this meet. So the game plan today, and I'm going to explain the numbers. A lot of people ask like, yo, why does Ashton's make the jumps that he does? And it's all about just conserving energy. So for Ashton's open arm squat, we're going to go with 325 kilograms, which is 717 pounds. Then from there, we're going to jump to 355 kilograms, which is 782 pounds. And then we're going to ideally try to finish with 370 kilograms, which is 815 pounds. As an alternate, we're just gonna go with the lower end of 363, which is 800 pounds. So basically, the purpose of Ashton's opener, right, with the squat and really all his lifts, is to just get a solid number on the board. It's nothing, we could definitely open heavier, but there's no point. His opener is just heavy enough to be a good warm up for his second attempt. And his second attempt is there purely to gauge what's there for the third. So that's why the jumps are so aggressive. Like his final warm up doesn't even it's a huge jump from his final warm up to his opener. And that's why we do it that way, because for Ashton, because it's such huge objective loads, having a second attempt within like say 10-15 pounds of like a third attempt, it just isn't going to feel very good for him. Like he's going to be gassed from that second. So we go just heavy enough on the second to gauge what's left for the third. So the only attempt he's really pushing is his third attempt. So it's the same thing with bench press. We're opening with 190 kilograms, 418 pounds. Then we're going to 205 kilograms, 452 pounds for a second. And then we're going to finish anywhere between 210 kilograms, 463, and 212.5, 468. The bench, we don't make quite as big of jumps. We've done a really good job of getting Ashton's pec nice and healthy, having shoulders feel nice and healthy, but obviously we're not gonna make as big or aggressive jumps on the bench as what we do with the squat and the deadlift. And then for the deadlift, we are opening with 332.5 kilograms, which is only 733 pounds, then immediately going to jump to 372.5 kilograms, which is 821 pounds. And then from there, we're gonna finish anywhere between 850 and 860 pounds. So that is pretty much what the game plan is looking like. And this is how I go about it with all my clients. Even though like the jumps are bigger with Ashton, it's a fact that we have ranges. And usually what we go about it is we go with the for sure opener, and then we have two options for the second attempt. Option A is going to be if everything's feeling good. Option B if things aren't feeling quite the way we want. Then for the third attempt, we have option A if everything's feeling on point, meaning we're feeling a little like peaked and a little bit stronger than what we did in training. Option B is going to be if we're feeling about as strong as we did in training and just want to play it safe. And then option C is going to be if we're just feeling really, really bad and have to kind of scale things down, hit a little bit less than what we did in training. The reason why it's a little bit different with Ashton is because, once again, his openers are things that we know he's not going to miss. If barring something crazy happens, we have to call an audible, he's not going to miss it. Same thing with his second attempts. Like I said, second attempts aren't truly what you would use as second attempts. So the only thing we have to have ranges for engaged are those third attempts. And because of what we've already hit in training, we have a good idea of what he should be able to do. So now it just comes down to the fact of, is he going to feel better than what he did when he hit those numbers in training last block? Or is he going to feel, you know, about the same or worse? And that's how we're going to make the calls. So yeah, the rest of this video is going to be you guys going through the meat. Hope you enjoy it. All right, guys, so as you can see, Ashton finished 3 for 3 on squats with 363 kilos, 800 pounds. That is the American and world record for his weight class. Now, as I told you guys at the beginning of this video, our range was to finish between 800 to 815. His best in training was 810. Ashton, obviously we made the call to put in the 800 for your third. How did that second attempt feel? Because I told them that what we do is, you know, the opener is just to get something on the board, and it's just pretty much a last warm up for your second attempt, and from the second attempt we get to the third. So based on, from my perception watching it, it moved well to where he probably could have had 805 and 810, but I know 800 would be undeniable in terms of depth and just maintaining that stacked tension position, which is the big thing we worked on with Ashton. So how did that second one feel?
So the second one, on the unrack it was a bit difficult. The platform seemed, I'm not sure, it was a little bit up. So when I unracked it, I stepped out with my left leg first, and honestly, like, it almost kind of like twisted inward. Like, I felt like it was probably pretty close to like breaking or getting hurt in some way or fashion.
Yeah.
So I had to really stop it, you know, for a second and really try to control it.
Yeah.
Or that could have been like an injury right there. But once we got settled and in a position, it felt pretty good. The positioning was stacked. It felt nice. Coming out of the hole was pretty powerful, and then the push move was good. So I knew we were good for a little bit over 8. But I didn't want to risk, kind of like Marcellus already alluded to, I didn't want to risk missing. So we went for an 800 third, and I think it was the perfect call for the day.
Yeah, it's one of those things, guys, where it's so easy to get caught up in, well, this is where my top end should be, or well, this is what I hit in training. But we're out here trying to execute a total. And that's already a huge meet PR, as well as like the American and world record. So even though I could have easily been like, oh, well, what's 5 pounds? Let's do 805. 800 just made the most sense. Plus, we're trying to save room for the deadlifts. We already have a good idea of how bench is going to go, and I'd much rather hit squats and maybe have 5-10 pounds left, so we can push deads more versus going all out on squats and nerfing what we could potentially have for the deadlift. Exactly. So that's why it's all about setting these ranges. It's pretty much the same way I go about like how I choose my top set for a day. based upon what I hit, like, the previous week, like, an RP7, if I have an RP8, I set the range for, okay, I should be here on the low end, here on the high end, and based on my last warm, I take what's there, and that's the same mentality approach I take with my clients. And, it obviously helps when your client actually listens to their body and not their ego and goes along with it. So we're off to a very strong start. Bench should be smooth, and then we'll finish strong with deadlifts. All right, guys, so bench didn't exactly go to plan. We kind of took an L on it. So basically, and let me be clear, the judge was very consistent. This was happening to everybody, but it was very long holds and even longer pauses. Like I don't just mean like a nice official pause, like it was long. Like you could say press like 2 times before it actually like got the press commenced. So after opener, originally as I told you guys, our plan was to go to 452, then finish anywhere between 463 to 468. With the long hold and pause, we adjusted, went to 446 for the second, and the mindset was if 446 moves the way we want, then we can go to like 457 still, match our best at a meet, which is 457, or just hit the 452, which is all we need in order to hit the 2,100 pound total. We hit the 446, and it was this thing where like, I told Ashton, hey man, you got it, you can grind it out, but how do you feel? And Ashton looked here, explain like how you felt about it.
No, yeah, so I mean, in terms of fairness, technically it was fair. Everyone got the long holds and the long pauses. Yeah. But like my 7-8 years of competing, those are probably among the longest pauses on bench I've had. Yeah. So that was shocking to me. So after the opener, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a fight. But I focused up. Got 446. Okay, it was kind of tough. Tougher than usual. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a lot tougher than I.
Keep in mind, we hit 470 a block ago. So
yeah, and it felt fine. Yeah. So I was like, well, sometimes the bench is really, really on. Sometimes it's just kind of cruising at like a decent altitude. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to risk restraining the pec. I don't want to risk anything with the shoulder. Just call it there. We got 446. We got enough on the board to still go for that 21.
Exactly.
We can feeling pretty confident about it.
Exactly. We can make up what we need to get to 100 on the deadlift. I think all we need is going to be like an 855 pull, which we're feeling very confident will be there. And it's just 2 things, man. One, we adapted. We scaled the second, and then we scratched the third. Sorry. We spent a lot of time getting Ashton's pec and shoulder healthy, but with that came pulling back from heavier loads, so we weren't as acclimated. So even though a block ago we pushed the heavier loads, like I said, with this block, it was kind of more of a build. So that just lets us know that the kind of build into a meet works well for the squat when we switch to work for the deadlift, but for the bench, which is very common, it's just something we need to constantly have heavy loads in our hands probably year round. And now that we've gotten his shoulder and pec healthy, we can do that. And that was the biggest thing. It's not worth running out of 452 we don't need, possibly causing a strain or irritation with the pec or shoulder, and then having to scale it back again. So we're thinking long term as far as that. But I mean, all in all, we're still right where we need to be. Not mad at it. It'd be one thing if only Ash was getting long pauses. Everyone was getting them.
Everybody.
It's consistent. It's not great. It's not ideal. But we adjust and we go from there. So now we just got to finish strong on deadlifts, which I have no doubt he'll be able to do.
Hey man, I always say prioritize your health above all. Live to fight another day. So that's what we're gonna do.
That's it. That's it. right, guys, so went 2 for 3 on deadlifts. We finished with 821 pounds. Went up to 390 kg, 859 pounds. That would have secured the 2,100 pound total. I think it would be like 2,102. And that was our plan high in third. Based upon the second move, we thought it'd be good to go. And it just man, we just gassed a little bit today. It happens. It happens at this level. The whole purpose of us kind of going into this meet, especially like, you know, this far out from Nats, was to kind of like play with the conventional a little bit more, play with a different peaking strategy, as well as just kind of like, you know, test different variables to see where we're at. We got a lot of good data from here. We still secured a squat record, had to scale the bench, and deadlifts were strong. Like honestly, like what would you say like you felt in terms of like that third deadlift? Because it really didn't seem like strength. So
yeah, it definitely was not a strength issue. I mean, all of training, like for the last 3-4 weeks leading up to it, was pretty good too.
Yeah.
I would say it was a lot more of an energy thing than a strength thing. Like I think going into nationals, you know, like you said, this is great data. I think going into nationals, I think the move's going to be 6 to 8 weeks out, 2 blocks out or so. Like,
training later, yeah.
Training at night.
This dude usually trains super early. Like I'll wake up and his videos will already be in my inbox. That's how early he trains. So just getting him used to training later in the day. We also like, you know, there's no excuses. You know, Ashton's been doing quite a few like life stress variables as well with school, military, something like that. But no excuses. We came in, we didn't quite do what we wanted to do, but we learned a lot. Had a good time as always. Extremely proud of this dude. And I mean, yeah, you got anything else to say, man?
Walked away healthy, walked away intact, had a lot of fun, and failure is hell of a motivator.
It's gonna come back stronger. That's it. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go leave a comment down below. Let me know what you did. If not, leave a comment down below. Let me know why I can be better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. We'll catch y'all later.